You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Kyrie Irving destinations is today's video topic because on Monday, Charania reported that talks between Irving and the Nets have, quote, gone stagnant, which means he could hit the open market. He does have a player option for this upcoming season of just under $37 million. He's got until June 29th to make a decision on whether to opt in or opt out of that contract. Even if he does opt in, he could still work a trade to get out of Brooklyn. I think a lot of scenarios are still on the table for Mr. Kyrie Irving. Now, there's a lot at stake here when it comes to Kyrie because we know the type of player he is. He's a special player. He's one of the best ball handlers I've ever seen. He's got the best layup package I've ever seen in terms of just finishing around the glass, especially for how small he is, 6'1", 6'2", whatever he is. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. 27.5 points per game. He can create for his teammates. Not a great defender. No one's going to confuse him for that. But this is a premier talent. The problem is he just hasn't been reliable. I mean, just in his Nets tenure alone, missed 53 games last year. We all know why that was the case at this point. But throughout his career, he's been unreliable. Even his second year there in Brooklyn, his most healthy year, he still missed 18 of 72 games. That's a fourth of the season due to injuries and just some random personal days off. 52 games he missed his first year. That's a bunch. He's only played over 60 games in 4 out of 11 NBA seasons. That shows me an unreliable player. Now, here's what Shams had to say earlier on Monday. Several teams across the league have kept tabs on the situation, wondering about the future of Irving and Brooklyn. The Lakers, Knicks, and Clippers are expected to be among the interested suitors if Irving heads elsewhere, multiple sources tell The Athletic. So I ask you this question, and then we'll break down those three teams plus a couple of bonus ones I threw in there. Where will Kyrie Irving play next season? Let me know down in the comment section. Where will Kyrie Irving play this upcoming season? I want to hear it from you guys right now down in the comment section. All right, the Los Angeles Lakers top our Kyrie Irving destinations. Listen, I just think if you're Los Angeles, you've got LeBron, you've got Anthony Davis, who's also been a little bit unreliable the past couple of years. I think they make the most sense because if you get Kyrie, that means you get rid of Westbrook. And as much as I've been a Kyrie detractor over the years because I do think he is unreliable, he's a clear upgrade over Russ. You get him to L.A., Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, that has a different ring and a different feeling to it than Russ, LeBron, and Anthony Davis does. Now, obviously, that's a big challenge. He is a clear upgrade over Russell Westbrook, but you got to figure out where does Russ go because I just refuse to live in a world where I think it's possible that Russell Westbrook reunites with Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. I just refuse to think that's even a possibility. I don't think it's going to happen. I think those two guys hate each other. No way. So you'd have to get a third team involved, which means you'd probably have to give up a first-round pick if you are LA to do it. But if you can to get Kyrie, I think that's something you got to consider because he's clearly better than Russell Westbrook. Will the Lakers be able to trade Russ? Type T for trade, type K for keep. What's going to happen with Russ in Los Angeles? Take a guess at it for us down in the comments section. Number 2, the New York Knicks. I almost said New York Knicks. Knicks are second. I would not go down this road if I was the Knicks. But this could be a desperate franchise. For years and years and years and years and years, they've tried to attract a superstar. They've been unable to do it. I mean, Julius Randle is legitimately the best player they've had since Carmelo Anthony. That speaks volumes. I mean, Julius Randle last season was pretty good. He was an all-star. He's a second-tier MVP candidate, but proved this year that's not sustainable. The Knicks have not had a superstar since Melo. If you want to count Amari Stoudemire, he was also during that era. That's fine. But my point being, they haven't had that since Melo. Kyrie Irving would easily be the best player they've had since Carmelo Anthony. So I get the desperation, but with the drama he comes with, I mean, Boston ran him out of town. He has not been reliable since he was sidekicks with LeBron James, and he hated that so much, he ran out of town. So I just, I wouldn't do this if I was the Knicks. But again, Leon Rose, these guys might be desperate in New York. We'll see what happens. I'm not convinced this will happen, but don't be surprised if they're interested. Follow us here on Rumble for more NBA coverage, rumble.com/NBA Now. We'll also have full NBA draft coverage this Thursday, June 22nd. We'll have live analysis of every single draft pick. So join us for that, rumble.com/NBA Now. All right, our third team on our Kyrie Irving Destinations video, the LA Clippers. So obviously the three-team Shams listed, I ranked those in order, and then I added a couple more teams. I don't get this Clippers thing. Shams did report they're interested, though, and he's well tied in. We all know that, so we got to talk about him here. I just don't think it makes any sense whatsoever for the Clippers to be involved in Kyrie Irving. The LA Clippers 2 seasons ago went to the Western Conference Finals, lost in 6 to the Phoenix Suns, who ended up taking a 2-0 final series lead without Kawhi Leonard. He got hurt in that playoff run, did not play in the conference finals. You get him back this next year, you're good to go. I think they would have made the finals if Kawhi made it. Hell, maybe even won it if Kawhi did not get hurt. You get that guy back. I don't think we're in the era anymore of the big 3 max contract roster setup. Think about the teams who had that this year. The Lakers with Russ, LeBron, and AD. Didn't work, no depth. Russ was a disastrous fit. The Nets, Kyrie, Harden, and Durant. Harden wanted out. Now Kyrie's probably going to be out. No depth on that team. That did not work. I think we're in an era where you want 2 superstars and good depth pieces around them, guys that know their roles. Clippers have that. Kawhi, Paul George, good guys around him. Reggie Jackson, hopefully Nick Batum is back. Marcus Morris, guys like that. You bring in Kyrie Irving, a lot of that goes away. Number one, you bring in another guy with an ego, and these depth guys, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, so I would not go that route if I was the Clippers. Now, who do you guys think is the better player, maybe better sidekick to a guy like Kawhi? Do you think it's Paul George or Kyrie Irving? Type PG for George, KI for Irving. I've thought this for a while. Paul George is a great number 2, and he knows that. He accepts that as his role. He had his time as a number 1 in Indiana. He's now a number 2 next to Kawhi. I don't know if Kyrie Irving can settle for being a number 2. That's part of his problem as well. The Portland Trailblazers coming at number 4 in our Irving destinations. Listen, I don't know if he and Dame really fit at all. You kind of run into the same problem you had before with Dame and CJ McCollum defensively. But the Blazers need to get Dame a co-star. Now, are you this desperate to get Kyrie Irving, who positionally doesn't really make sense next to Dame, but could be at least somewhat of a realistic guy to get? The Blazers have some cap space. Kyrie could want out. Maybe you go get Kyrie and you figure out the fit later. But like I mentioned a second ago, I like CJ and Dame. Kyrie and Dame would get killed defensively. It's very similar, I think. Now, obviously, Kyrie's a more talented offensive player than CJ McCollum. I'm not disputing that, but how are you going to stop anybody with that as your backcourt? Wanted to mention them because they have cap space, and the Blazers are probably desperate as hell to get a big-time talent next to Dame Lillard, but, man, I don't know how this would work at all. 2 undersized guards running the show. Seems challenging. Should the Blazers pursue Kyrie Irving? What do you guys think? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I don't think it makes a lot of sense at all for Portland, but I didn't want to mention them because they have cap space. All right, number 5 here, the Utah Jazz. I threw them in there because maybe, just maybe, a Donovan Mitchell for Kyrie Irving swap could work. Maybe that could be in the works. 2 guys that aren't thrilled with their certain situations. Brooklyn's not thrilled with Kyrie. D-Mitch isn't thrilled with Utah. How about a switch then? Mitchell gets to Brooklyn, which is Madison Square Garden, but it is a big market. He gets to New York. And then Kyrie goes and plays for the Utah Jazz. Now, he would have to sign up for that, and, maybe that wouldn't happen, of course. But I think financially the swap could make sense, and Donovan Mitchell could join forces with Kevin Durant and ideally Ben Simmons if he gets healthy, and maybe everyone is happy after all. I think if you're the Nets, this is about as good as you could do if you could make that happen. Now, the D-Mitch rumors of wanting out of Utah, those have been circulating for a while now. There's been rumors that he wants to go play for a team like the Knicks, play under the bright lights. Brooklyn is not New York. It's not Madison Square Garden, but at least he gets into a big market, gets to live in a bigger city, even if the lights don't shine bright on Brooklyn like they do at the MSG. But that could be enticing enough for a guy like Donovan Mitchell. Will Kyrie Irving leave Brooklyn? That's my question. I think he's going to. Type L for leave, type S for stay. Predict it for us down in the comments section.